You know when you wake from a really good dream and wish you could just stay asleep in whatever that experience was for a while longer? What if our dreams when we're sleeping are actually happening? If when we sleep, we drift into a different dimension and we're really just observing a alternate observation into our infinite existence? Or what if this whole life is instead a dream? After living across the country for 3 years now, sometimes I wonder, what if this has just been a very long dream? That I'll wake up 10 years prior and just want to go back to sleep so I can keep living this? Because the last 10 years or so would have all been how I could only wish things would turn out for my life so far. It seems that the most wondrous things in life often go unnoticed, especially as we get older and follow the ways of stereotypical adulthood. You know how when we're young and believe in all these crazy things, whether it be a man with a white beard delivering presents on Christmas morning, or that we'll soon receive our letter to Hogwarts, at that age, the universe seems like it has endless possibilities. We notice the birds in the sky more, just wishing we could fly like them. The leaves on the ground aren't just leaves that fell from the tree, they're leaves we can make into a pile and jump into. So, at what point do we go from being lost in wonder to being lost in our heads? I didn't find early adulthood to be smooth, mainly due to chronic anxiety every day. I can remember saying to myself, if I could just have one full day of feeling like my old self, when I was mentally well, imaginative, and excited for each day, I think that would be all I could ask for at that point. But see, it doesn't have to be like this. You can let it consume you, or you can keep fighting. Because maybe this was all just the universe pushing me to a new direction, and if I chose discomfort over predictability, maybe I not only get one day of happiness, but many. Hope is the only thing stronger than fear. A quote from The Hunger Games. Fear is the most instinctually limiting of the emotions because, truthfully, it doesn't want you to live your life. From a spiritual sense, I believe it serves as your biggest roadblock for which you will not be rewarded until you can overcome it. I let fear take the backseat as I moved across the country to follow something stronger in my intuition. Hope. Hope that life can become a dream again. You see, I wasn't running away from anything per se. I just felt it in my spirit that this was the right move for me right now. And instead of waking up wanting to go back to sleep to retain that feeling of wonder, I could instead experience it in reality, or at least what we deem as this reality. Solo travel, especially during the pandemic, was healing for me. As you may already know, I like to film videos, taking the camera along with me on many of my day trips. And one trip in particular led me to a place called Ojai. I knew of Ojai as this so-called spiritual vortex where people come to meditate at a retreat and shop at crystal healing stores. Not saying I believed any of that was true at the time, but later that day, I don't know, maybe I changed my mind because I found myself at a lake. And then I started reading this little meditation book I bought at one of those shops, and all of a sudden, I had this epiphany. I was all alone in the mountains at this quiet lake where the only thing I could hear were the birds chirping, and for a while I just stared at my surroundings. Really took it all in. The lake, the plants, the birds, the mountains and landscapes, and the sunshine. I felt like I was the only person in the world for just that short period of time. And I wanted to stay in this moment forever because for the first time in my life, I felt I finally understood it all. I acknowledged that we're not all just sad stories who live and die and have hardships in between that, but we're alive on this planet surrounded by all of this beauty and wonder, and most of us just waste it. We waste it on believing we're not good enough, fearing what people think, thinking the world revolves around us. In that mystical moment, an idea shot into my head, seemingly out of nowhere, that maybe we're all just one. Just all experiencing the same human experience from different perspectives and hardships, and once we move on from this lifetime, we'll become one again. What if all the people we meet, all the experiences we share, all of our struggles, it's all happening to us for a reason? To learn, to grow, to love, to bring us to a greater spiritual power. It was here also that I acknowledged my life isn't a sad story, and it never was. And no matter what you're going through, yours isn't either. It's a sign to have hope and make a change. I think about this day in Ojai every day of my life now, and probably always will. And I trust that if you haven't already, one day you'll have your own spiritual awakening that will change everything you thought you knew. Whatever we're going through, what if it is all for a greater purpose? Funny enough, after this whole experience, I started meeting people who were open to sharing their own spiritual experiences with me, and most of the time, I didn't even ask. How is that a coincidence? It therefore has to be true that what you believe, you attract. If you believe you're never going to feel better or you're never going to make it, then that's what's probably going to happen. But you're still alive, and once you believe that you deserve to be here and take action, the universe is going to let you experience everything you want. If you latch onto that hope that things will get better, well then, you're going to make it happen, because your life isn't a sad story. It's just waiting for you on the other side of fear. Once you can open your eyes.